Andy, if you could, just your thoughts on the match.
I'd rather answer the questions, please. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, thanks.
Fine. Ben?
Andy, you obviously were getting upset about Tsitsipas leaving the court specifically, and you think you accused him of cheating when you were talking to your boss and supervisor. Just what did you see? What was so maddening to you about what was going on out there?
It's not so much leaving the court, it's the amount of time. I spoke to my team before the match about it and said to expect that and prepare for it if things were not going his way. So I was trying to do that, but the issue is that you cannot stop the way that affects you physically. When you're playing a brutal match like that, stopping for 7-8 minutes, you do cool down, and it's you can prepare for it mentally as much as you like, but it's the fact that it does affect you physically when you take a break that long, multiple times during the match. Every single time it was either, before my serve as well. And I think when he took the medical time out, it was just after I won the third set. And also in the fourth set, when I had love 30, he chose to go, and I don't know if he changed his racket or what he was doing. But yeah, it can't be coincidence that it's happening, at those moments. I don't believe the foot is causing him any issue at all. The match went on for another 2 and a bit hours after that or something, and he was fine, moving great, I thought. And yeah, it's just disappointing because I feel it influenced the outcome of the match. Not necessarily, I'm not saying I necessarily win that match for sure, but it had influence on what was happening after those breaks. And, I rate him a lot. I think he's a brilliant player, and I think he's great for the game. But I have zero time for that stuff at all, and I lost respect for him.
Hold on. Bridget, please. Okay.
So what would you want to do? You want the officials to step in and just say that,
Ultimately, they can't do anything because the rules are there. But I sit on the player council and we speak about it all of the time, about changing these rules and trying to make it less easy for the rules to be exploited, I guess. Some suggestions are if you take a medical timeout or a break before, let's say, my serve, that you forfeit the game. So I just start the set 1-love up. That's one thing that's sort of been discussed. A couple of other things are like you get 2 5-minute breaks during a match or something, and that's it. There's various different suggestions that are out there, but what do you think? I mean, do you think that that's normal? Do you think that it should change? Do you think that it's totally fine, or what? I mean,
no, I don't know. I mean, it's gamesmanship. I guess he's bending the rules, but like you say, he took it too far.
That's what I feel. But if everyone else feels like that's totally cool and there's no issue with it, then maybe I'm the one being unreasonable. But I think it's nonsense, and he knows it as well.
Ben?
His opponent in Cincinnati was accusing Tsitsipas of using his phone while he was off court to communicate with his coach. Was that in your mind a suspicion as well, or are you just talking about style tactics, basically?
No, I mean, no, I don't think so. And yes, I certainly, I would have no idea if that's happening. But yeah, I'm not accusing him of that. But he knows. The other players know. The fact that I was talking to my team about it before the match, we knew it was coming. But you could argue that I shouldn't let that affect me, but genuinely it is difficult. Like when you're playing such a brutal match in those conditions, to have those breaks physically, you can't stop that from affecting you. Mentally, yes, but physically you can't.
Stuart Fraser of the Times. Another sort of pivotal moment in the match seemed to be towards the end of the second set when your shoes seemed, I don't know if it was covered in sweat or whatever, but can you just explain what happened there? And like, some people might be surprised that you, as a sort of fairly high profile tennis player, have only one pair of shoes with you.
Yeah, so that's my bad. But I've never had that happen in a match, and the shoes I were wearing were pretty new, and I've never had issues with my shoes during a match before. Certainly never. What was happening there, like the shoes got so wet that at the end of the set, I was slipping basically and was losing balance, and that's why I needed to change after the set, and it was fine. But yeah, I guess something for me to learn from in future, to make sure that doesn't happen again. And that was my bad, and was an important moment in the match. Yeah.
Bill in the back of the room.
Bill Simons, Inside Tennis. You just said it's just so hard to sort of stop and go with a break like that. Sort of as an elite athlete out there, just describe how difficult that is and what happens. Does the body just cool down, or what's the process?
It just cools down a little bit, and also like usually like at the end of sets, or like today, if you look when it happened, they were the end of the second set, you obviously lots of adrenaline running through your body, lose a set like that, and then take a long break, and the adrenaline sort of I guess wears off a little bit. That's what it feels like, and you just feel a little bit flat, and as the longer the match goes on, like 7-10 minutes after a match finishes, for example, and you go into the locker room and sit down a bit, you start stiffening up a bit as well, certainly at my age anyway, maybe not when I was in my early 20s, but there's a few things, and I'm sure it affects everyone kind of a bit differently, but that's how it affects me.
Right side.